Holocaust Memories, Never Forget. A Gentile baby boomer's painful journey into the Shoah. Section 5, Deutschland Uber Alles. Part 5. From the 1st of January 1941 to the 31st of December 1942. Centuries before the 30th of January 1933, the day Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany, life for Jews in Europe had always been a challenge. Anti-Semitism in various forms had existed since biblical times, but after the diaspora, when Roman troops drove Jews out of Palestine and destroyed the Temple, the anti-Semitic attitude of most Europeans ranged from mild dislike to murderous hatred. Even during the Enlightenment, when some nations began offering citizenship to minorities, Jews who wanted to observe the law continued to be hounded, abused, and often attacked and killed. Ironically, Jews in Germany and Austria were treated better during the Enlightenment than most of their brethren in Eastern Europe, especially when it came to employment, business opportunities, and rights of citizenship. However, after Hitler took full control of Germany with the passing of the Enabling Act in early 1933, the deep-seated disdain most Germanic people had for Jews was not only encouraged, but it became legal to act out on that hatred. Hitler knew that most Europeans felt the same animosity toward Jews as his beloved Germans and Austrians, and he took full advantage of that fact after the war began. Along with encouraging and often rewarding violence against Jews in German-controlled areas, he created a special division known as the Abteilung Sonderdienst, the Department of Special Services, which trained rabidly anti-Semitic non-Germans in the brutal techniques used by the Einsatzgruppen. As an added bonus to Hitler, small super-nationalistic groups existed throughout Eastern and Western Europe which didn't need any special training from the Germans to begin killing Jews. It came as naturally to them as breathing. One example of such cooperation between local anti-Jewish groups and the Germans was the Ponary massacre, which lasted many months and took place in a forest southwest of Vilna. The Einsatzgruppen, with help from the Lithuanian militia group Ypatingasis Budys, murdered 100,000 Jews, Poles, and Russian prisoners of war, although records show that most of those who died were Jews. In Ponary, a gigantic circular pit was created, and those to be executed were marched in tightly together while wearing hoods. After being lined up, these prisoners were shot from above and covered with dirt, while other victims were murdered outside the pit before being disposed of with the rest. The massacre at Ponary is just one of many instances where Hitler took advantage of the broad-based European hatred of Jews and ensured that civilians and locally organized ethnic groups were utilized to murder Jews, prisoners of war, and other Untermenschen. Here is a partial list of the numerous ethnic, supranationalistic groups which participated in the massacres of Jews, Gypsies, government officials, prisoners of war, anti-German partisans, and anyone else that the Nazis deemed to be unworthy of life. In Poland, it was the Volksdeutscher Selbstschutz, who were ethnic Germans living in Poland, and the Narodowe Zile Zabrojne, a Polish right-wing partisan group of former soldiers. In Romania, there were four groups: the Gardea de Fier, or Iron Guard, the Izolan Special, the Nachtigall, and the Roland, some of which were trained by the Einsatzgruppen. In Croatia, it was the Ustase, or Croatian Revolutionary Movement. In Latvia, it was the Araj Komando, or Latvian Auxiliary Police working with the SD. In Lithuania, it was the Ypatingasis Budys, also known as the LAF, or the Lithuanian Auxiliary Police. In Slovenia, it was the Slovensko Domobranstvo, or Slovenian Home Guard. In Ukraine, it was the Hilfspolizei, or Ukrainian People's Militia. In Slovakia, it was the Hlinka Guard, named after the man who created it, Andrzej Hlinka. In Estonia, it was the Omakatsai, or Estonian Police. In Belorussia, it's the Belarusian National Guerrillas, Belaruskaya Narodnia Partizanska. In Holland, it was the Vrijwillige Hulppolitie, or Voluntary Auxiliary Police, which helped capture Dutch Jews. In Denmark, the Freikorps Danmark, Danish Free Corps, is formed. In Vichy, France, it was the 15,000-member collaborationist military organization La Légion des Volontaires Français, the French Volunteer Legion headed by Joseph Darnard. And in Hungary, it was the Arrow Cross Party, which executed Jews following the German takeover of Hungary in 1944.